We are hitting at 62% in our last 13 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. We also finished the 2020 NBA season going 62% in our last 53 NBA tier package picks on that site as well. We currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'm so excited, can barely talk. Link for that site is in the description section below, and that's patreon.com/Brock Page. Now the Warriors take on the Nets, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. The Nets are the 7-point favorite, totals 230 flat. And if you like Golden State in an upset, they're plus 225 for an outright win. Now the Warriors are going to unfortunately have to go to work once again without Klay Thompson. Draymond Green has also been listed as questionable as well. The Warriors have failed to cover the number in 7 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Brooklyn. The Warriors have also dropped 4 out of their last 5 meetings with the Eastern Conference. So if you're into historical trends, not a good stat for you there if you're backing Golden State. The Warriors finished their 2020 campaign in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive field goal percentage. The Warriors were also giving up over 115 points a game. Now they are taking on a new and improved Nets team who finally have a healthy Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And for those who don't remember, Kyrie actually played in 20 games last season. I know a lot of folks are thinking about him burning that sage in the Celtics at the Garden the other day. That was actually really weird. But anyway, as unspirited as Kyrie's efforts were last year, he still managed to score over 27 points a game along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Irving was also over 92% from the stripe, and he drilled nearly 40% of his three-pointers. Joe Harris also played in 69 games last season, 15 points a game and 4 rebounds a night for the guard. Harris also went 49% from the field in the regular season. And as much as they've struggled in certain spots, the Nets were in the top 3 in the league in offensive rebounding. They were also in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Brooklyn's last 10 meetings with Golden State stayed under the posted number. I'm going to lean toward the Brooklyn Nets -7 and the under 230 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NBA here on Tuesday night. Man, it's like the greatest time of the year. Christmas is coming up. We got NBA starting. Anytime NBA starts, it's always a good time of the year for me. I love the NBA, and things really get kind of fired up on Brock Page Productions. But anyway, guys, before we go ahead and move on, just got to quickly remind you that we are hitting at 62% in our last 13 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. We also finished the 2020 NBA season going 62% in our final 53 NBA tier package picks on that site as well. Now you might be wondering, why would you sign up for picks on Patreon and pay for them where you can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. But if you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I do with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are just way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you. And to be honest with you, the bookies just have so much more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that type of action. So what I do on Patreon is I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus, betting on every single game that's on the card, side and total and a million different props. As a matter of fact, on Patreon, we only have 3 premium plays going off today. So just to kind of give you an example of that small sample size. But anyway, guys, if you're curious, we currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I think that's a great idea. I'd love to have you. And link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Clippers versus the Lakers, and that's going to be a 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Lakers are the 3-point favorite. Total's 223.5. Now, the Lakers shot over 48% for the entire season last year. And if you don't remember from a few months ago, they were your 2020 NBA champions. Seemed like the season just ended. It was literally like a couple months ago. But anyway, the Lakers are also in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in defensive rebounding as well. They gave up just 107 points per contest all season last year. Anthony Davis scored 28 points a night in the playoffs last season, 10 rebounds and 4 assists for the power forward. And of course, LeBron James also averaged 28 points a night himself in the postseason, 11 rebounds and 9 assists for the crafty veteran. The Lakers were in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage last year, top 10 in defending the 3-ball. They're taking on a Clippers team who they have a handful of guys on the injury report, either listed as questionable or out for Tuesday's ball games. Wonder if Kyrie's doing the what do they call that? The resting. They do the designed sit out or whatever it's called. But anyway, the Clippers were in the bottom half of the league last season in first quarter points allowed defensively. They also lost 5 out of their last 7 against a divisional opponent. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the Los Angeles Lakers -3 in the over 223.5 in that ball game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/Brock Page, where we are 62% in our last 13 college basketball tier package picks. I like the Brooklyn Nets -7 under 230. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it by smashing that like button. And please feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I like the LA Lakers -3 and the over 223.5 in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout-out to Kevin Taylor, Paul Starrett, Hilario Labrada, Scott Kaler, Stephen Lewis, TCGMD 2010. Shout out to Trevino Sloan, Bonafide 1, John Murillo. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Arthur Mead Jr. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/Brock Page.